on Faith Mission to give us an invocation, and after that, I'll lead us in the prayer. In the pledges.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Our Father who art in heaven, we thank you, we praise you, we adore you. We thank you for this day. This is the day that you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. We thank you for giving us understanding, giving us a sound mind and sound doctrine to do thy will. Father, we ask that you bless and that you complete each one of us with your Holy Spirit. We thank you. We ask and we think that our faith grows in what you have given us, and that thine will be done in this place, in this day. Amen.
Amen. The pledge to the United States flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you for that prayer, Mr. Mabry. Okay, the next item on the agenda is discuss and possibly act upon the approval of pending Washington County Expo rental and regulation contracts. Commissioners, you have those in your packet. There is a birthday party. There is a big acreage, small acreage, big opportunities. And then the last one is a drive-through.
I'll move upon the approval of pending Washington County Expo rental regulation contracts and authorize the county judge to sign.
I second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the presentation of the Sheriff's Office Monthly Report. Mr. Petrash?
Commissioners, good morning.
Morning.
How's everybody this morning?
Good.
Short and sweet, pretty common. The deal, assaults are up as usual. That's nothing unusual. We're starting to get into the heated months again, so. Other than that, I just draw your attention to vacancies, as we always talk about. Earlier, we're still hunting for 5 deputies for patrol. We're looking for 2 in transport, one in transport and 1 for courthouse security. And we also have 2 on injured reserve right now that are out, so we're kind of running a little short-handed on patrol, but we'll work it out. Stuff. We have brought back 1 retired deputy he's going to help work the courts as far as a bailiff. He retired, but he's going to come back part-time to help Rev and Mr. Kramer up at the court, so we're doing pretty good on that one. So other than that, pretty common report, nothing really standing out. We have made some transports back and forth. We've made a lot of trips here and there. We're finally getting some to go to prison or at least get to prison, like anybody may not understand. We just don't, as soon as they're sentenced, we don't get to just take them. We have to wait and get an appointment to where they tell us when to bring them. So we're finally got some waiting to go now that need to go. So.
Yeah, I see we had 7 mental transports. That's
Yes,
quite
mental seems to be on the
uptick.
rise right now again.
Did those just happen to fall on the days that the sheriff's office is kind of designated for that, or is
Yes.
it just an increase?
It was probably our month.
Okay.
We're still working, mutual agreement with the city as far as walk-ins, say at the clinic, or walk-ins to mental health, and if they need to be evaluated, then we're still alternating months with the city. 1 month they take it, next month we take transport. So.
Okay.
And some of these were ours where I know we had 3 stacked up one day at one time, so.
Okay.
We have to wait to get beds from MHMR, find a bed for them, so.
Right.
All right, are there any other questions of Mr. Petrash? I see that there aren't any donations this month, so this is just a
Donations.
presentation, and we appreciate all you guys do.
Thank y'all,
Thank you.
commissioners, very
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I failed to let you know that the judge is out due to a medical incident, so just keep him in your prayers, please. Next item on the agenda is to discuss and possibly act upon the renewal of an interlocal cooperative contract for failure to appear program. Commissioners, this is something for the JP courts. It is done through DPS, and This was something that the 88th legislature changed in the law that required for this contract to change. It has been through the county attorney's office. They have reviewed it. The JP courts use the Omni-based system to enter this into that system, and this basically deals with, in a short condensed version, it deals with the renewal of driver's licenses, and if these JPs put a hold on someone's driver's license, it has to be entered into the Omni system. This report actually is been cleaned up to clarify some of the responsibilities of each side, the DPS and the JP courts. I think the legislature is wanting some of that. There are 3 changes, none of those of which we have any control over, but this is definitely something we have to do, so this is a housekeeping measure.
Understood.
Are there any questions or comments? I see, Judge Wiener, you're here. Did I just vomit or did
I think you did a perfect synopsis of what it is. It simply prevents someone from getting their driver's license if they fail to appear in court.
Right.
It's just an enforcement tool that we've had for years, and this is just a housekeeping change the legislature did, that's all.
Okay.
All right, commissioners, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the renewal of the interlocal cooperation contract for failure to appear program.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. The next item on the agenda is to discuss and possibly act upon the final plat of Connor Crossing. Is it Connor Crossing?
Connor Crossing.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because sometimes there's typos, right? Subdivision located along Connor Road and Swede Road, consisting of 6 lots in the E.D. Jackson Survey, A64 and Precinct 1. Mr. Stoltz?
Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, this is the Connor Crossing subdivision. This is 6 lots that are proposed. The minimum acreage is 1 acre, maximum is 1.89, and average is 1.5. There are 2 flag lots that are going to be fronting along Connor. Both of these do have the 60-foot of minimum frontage. All requirements have been met. We have verified with the utility supplier in the area, which is Corex Utilities, and they have verified they can and will be serving these lots that are below 1.5 acres to ensure the OSSF requirements are met.
Commissioners, what I saw of this, it's pretty textbook. So are there any questions or suggestions?
I just didn't know if there were any specific instructions as it relates to, all the driveways on that one side. I'm assuming, are there any shared driveways or?
No,
Is
there's no
there
shared, and we
accurate
do
enough?
coordinate with them whenever they come forward with
Yeah.
the permits to make sure that they are out of the intersection,
Right.
and they are sufficiently away from those buffer zones.
Okay.
I'll move upon a final plat for Connor Crossing subdivision located along Connor Road and Swede Road, consisting of 6 lots in the E.D. Jackson Survey, A-64, Precinct 1.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item number 7 is to discuss a formal notice for fiber installation from Industry Telephone Company in the Old Low Lane right-of-way, Precinct 4.
Yes, this is a simple notice where they're going to be crossing the right-of-way. They are going to be 32 inches of depth, which does meet all of our requirements. They will have conduit, and they will be boring across the roadway, no open cut. They do meet all of our requirements, and we see no issues.
Any questions, Commissioner?
Straight.
Okay, all right. Next item on the agenda is to
Thank you.
discuss and possibly act, thank you, Mr. Stoltz, I'm sorry. Discuss and possibly act upon awarding the request for qualifications for the wildlife manager for the Washington County School Land in Tom Green County. Commissioners, if you remember, we decided as a court that we were gonna divide this up into grazing and then we were going to separate the wildlife and the grazing.
Right.
This gave an opportunity for the Commissioners Court to possibly get more revenue for the school district. Look, our charge for this land is to not only maintain it, but it is to provide funding for the school district.
Right.
We need to do that in a very cost-effective way, but we also need to provide as much funding as we can. This provides an opportunity for us to do so. We've had several conversations about this, and there was a scoring committee on this RFQ that we sent out. The scoring committee came back and made a recommendation for 3R Hunting Services LLC. I will tell you that our attorney out in Tom Green County, Mr. Keith Davis, is the one that asked us to consider this. And so it is new to this court, it is new to this county, and we're going to give it an option, see if we can get more revenue for the school district. I don't know if I explained that well enough, Ms. Miller, but if I haven't, would you please add anything I've left out?
No, I think that covers it. What it was called hunting and grazing is the way we did, and that was the majority of our acreage out there in Tom Green County, and it's unimproved land. And in talking with Mr. Davis, the last time we were up there, he suggested we try this route to get to raise more revenue on the hunting side of it. And so we're gonna follow his recommendation because he hasn't led us astray to this point. He's the one that helped us negotiate the very large payout on the access through our property to the solar farm.
The solar farm,
Yes,
yeah.
so, and he said this is how a lot of large acreage is managed out there. The wildlife is managed that way so that you can maximize your hunting.
Well, he's certainly been a wonderful advocate in guiding this court and guiding our administration on these decisions.
Yes,
So,
yes.
It's nice to have someone up there watching over that.
It certainly is, because it's a whole new world up there, so
Right.
compared to what we
Thank you.
operate
Deal with
here.
in Washington
Yes,
County.
yeah.
Okay,
Well, so, and this is for a wildlife manager.
correct.
Please understand that there will be negotiations on a contract after this, if the court decides to approve a wildlife manager. And there were two RFQs that were presented to the court for this, and the scoring committee recommended 3R Hunting Services LLC. So, commissioners, are there any other questions? Any questions from the audience on this topic?
And one of the things that we put in the RFQ was that this person would then help us go out and get good quality hunting leases. And so that's gonna be one of the things that he's going to be working on with
The
us.
wildlife manager.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
And that'll be something we'll handle in the contract.
Right.
yes.
We'll make certain of that. Yes, ma'am. The other bidder's name? Colby Schneeman. My apologies for not giving you that. Any other questions, comments? Commissioners, I need a motion.
Where are we? I make a motion to approve awarding the request for qualifications for the wildlife manager for the Washington County School Land in Tom Green County to, hold on, what are they called?
3R Hunting Service.
3R Hunting.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Item number 9, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of Gateway Monument Agreement between the Washington County and TxDOT for the construction of the Gateway Monument located on SH 105, 0.9 miles east of FM 155. Commissioners, if you remember, we had a contract with the Chamber of Commerce, and in that contract, TxDOT cannot operate with or go into a contract with anyone other than a government entity. So the Chamber of Commerce with Ms. Rankin, and God bless her, she has done a lot of work on this,
A lot of
folks,
work.
and making this happen. So the Chamber is, we have a contract with the Chamber to do the maintenance, and we're gonna go into a contract with TxDOT in order to allow for this monument to be in their right of way. The county will work with the Chamber on making sure this is maintained. I will tell you, this is another opportunity for county government and our community to understand that we are much better together than we are separate. I appreciate the Chamber of Commerce working with us to make this happen. This is something that's great for our community. As visitors come, they will get to see this sign and know that they are in one of the greatest counties in the state of Texas. So I asked Ms. Rinkin here today to kind of give us an update on how and the process that she had to go through to make this happen. So, as I
Yes.
told her I would butcher that. She actually told me what
Actually,
it.
you did a really good job.
Oh,
You did
well,
great,
I
yeah.
will tell you, she's an excellent asset to this county for making this come through.
Thank you so much for
Been
that.
working
Well,
hard.
as many of you know, we had 5 Welcome to Washington County signs, which I think are very signature of our county. It's been featured in movies on Netflix. which tells you enough that these signs are very, very important. They contribute not only to our local economy because they drive visitors here, they welcome them here, and I believe they're a tremendous asset. So prior to, it was around 2019, the chamber served as the CVB. And so it was very fitting that they also handled the signs, which made sense, right? But since the separation happened between the city and the chamber, we took that on without any disgruntles or anything like that. And in the meantime, the highway on 105 going to Navasota was redirected, which was exactly where our sign was. So we had to rebuild this sign, but to go through that process, I have been working with TxDOT. I had to hire an engineer to do soil samples. I had to hire a licensed landscape architect to get things finalized, and then work with the county on the agreement part of things. And so this has definitely been a labor of love, but worth every bit of it, because I know that sign is going to bring a lot of value into our community. And you know, Commissioner Kester, that's his precinct, and so he's been on it. Had my husband out there putting in the sign that says "coming soon," because I wanted to create the anticipation of this sign and the labor that's been put into it. But also, the sign has been funded, right? So it's not something that comes out of our pocket. We manage it, and we have partners that we have with landscape companies that come in, and they are the ones who mow around the signs and take care of it, and we're so thankful for each of them. But it's truly important, and the fact that our community, it shows how much our community wanted this effort by the amount of money they raised to make it happen for each sign. So
Right.
anyway, so that's what I had to say about that.
You had to get soil samples to put a sign up?
Yeah, yeah, it may, yes,
That's
yes,
just
and it's mainly if in the future, we needed to do one again, the best option would probably to go through a private landowner and have them put it on their property, because we would not have to go through, this path to do that.
Most
So,
of the signs are that way, they're on private property.
that's the more ideal option, so, but, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, and just to give you a background, the first agreement we had, before we even had an agreement between the county and the chamber, the TxDOT was going to hold us financially responsible, and they were not going to let us even assign that out.
A sub it?
Right,
Yeah.
they were going to, it was going to be our responsibility, so therefore, you know, we were going to have to come up with the cost and all of this. And so then, therefore, we reached an agreement with the chamber. It was no problem, that was the understanding all along. We just memorialized it and put it in writing, and then we started dealing with TxDOT, trying to get them to allow us to at least have that assignment, and we finally got that little bitty change, and we took it as a victory and said we're going with that. So if for some reason or other the chamber would not be able to fulfill their obligations, the TxDOT would be looking at us. So I just want you to know, but that's the best we could do, because the TxDOT is not going to enter into a contract with a non-governmental agency.
Correct.
They only want to deal with a governmental agency, which is us. So in order for us to get this signed, these are the hoops we have to go through.
Yeah.
And if you've ever, you know, dealt with TxDOT, it's a slow process.
Very, very, yes.
Well, and I will tell you, and not defending anything, but I will tell you that some of TxDOT's reasoning is legitimate. They have
Yes.
concerns about liability issues and things of that nature. So if they, if something goes in their right of way, there has to be an avenue for that
Absolutely.
liability.
Right.
The county will take on that responsibility if something
Right.
were to happen.
And we had an incident last July 26th, and
The other one, yeah.
on 290 West towards Carmine,
Mhm.
where about 2-3 in the morning, the sign was hit out there, and those expenses do come on. You know, we repair that, and we take care of it and manage it, and it was fine. We handled it. It was good, but I can understand the liability part of things for
Yeah,
sure.
and look, I will tell you, TxDOT can be a good partner. We just have
Yes.
to work within the confines of their regulations,
Right.
and sometimes that's very arduous. I'm
Late.
sure you all found that out.
For sure.
Mr. Stoltz probably knows a lot about that because he probably deals with them a lot more than we do.
As you know, in county government, things do take quite a lot of time, which is kind of difficult for people to understand, that you just have to maneuver and go through the process and deal with the red tape. But I want to thank you for your diligence and your leadership, because as you said, this is so important for our community. I mean, it's the first thing that people see when they enter the county. So, thank you for all your hard work.
You're welcome.
Yes,
You're
'cause the ball
welcome.
wasn't rolling too good until Miss Rankin came.
Oh, well, thank
That's
you,
right.
thank you,
Great
I
job with
appreciate that, thank you so much,
You're welcome.
so.
So just for the media's benefit, this project's gonna cost $25,050. Terra Labs is the one that has been contracted to do the work, and
Well,
that.
hold on, Terra Labs is the landscape architect,
Okay.
but Glasgow Landscape
Glasgow.
will actually construct.
work.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I
I'm sorry.
understand.
And
And Gessner Engineering did the soil samples and all that, if you need to know that.
So,
Yep. I will,
Which is great, because those are
As
all
soon as
local
they
businesses.
can approve this, then we are, I mean, it's gonna be rocking and rolling
Yeah.
as soon as
Good.
possible,
Great.
so.
it's
Yeah.
designed to be in the third quarter of this year
Right.
to be finished,
Yeah.
according to this contract. However, there are stipulations for maintenance, including weather.
Right.
We all know that becomes an issue sometimes, so
Absolutely.
God forbid anything else. But
Yeah.
thank you so much, Ms.
Absolutely.
Rankin, for coming here today.
My honor.
I want y'all to know that I called her on very short notice because I was totally
Overloaded.
well, no, I
yesterday.
just felt like I was not gonna do it justice, and I felt we needed to have her here because it's been such a great partnership with the chamber,
It has.
TxDOT, and I will tell you right now, I wanna send a huge thank you out to all of those donors who donated the money to put this up, because that is such a vital part, and something that makes this county so separate from others is that there's so many people willing to donate to things
Absolutely.
that are great causes for all of us. So we wanna send a great thank you
I
out
do
to all of
also
them.
want to recognize that Jim Ellison has been an integral
Oh.
part since the very beginning, when these signs were first put in, and he is still working hard with me collaboratively. And also a big thank you to Washington on the Brazos as they hold the funds. So when I need a check written to all these people, they're the ones to do it. So big thanks to them for that as well.
that's great.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. no,
Commissioners, I
thank
need a
you.
motion.
I got it. I move upon the approval of the Gateway Monument Agreement between Washington County and TxDOT for the construction of a gateway monument located at State Highway 105.9 miles east of FM 1155.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, ayes have it, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is to discuss and possibly act upon a resolution authorizing the county judge, John Durenberger, to execute the Gateway Monument Agreement between Washington County and TxDOT.
Same thing. I make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing County Judge John Dernberger to execute the Gateway Monument Agreement between Washington County and TxDOT.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, ayes have it, motion carries. Next item on the agenda, discuss and possibly act upon the appointments for the Cybersecurity Subcommittee of the Homeland Security Advisory Committee. Burton ISD IT Director Jonathan Purvis, Brenham ISD, Brittany, I'm gonna mess that one up. Kausch. City of Brenham IT Director Kevin Schmidt, and Blaine College Michael Welch. Commissioners, this committee is set up because the Brazos Valley Council of Governments has identified that we are in a different world when it comes to cybersecurity these days. The COG board has had discussions. As being a member of that board, the COG board is concerned not only for the current level of cybersecurity, but our future is completely in the hands of AI.
Right.
AI has been, it's kind of like this, you let the cat out of the bag, right? It is an animal of its own, and we are going to have to understand what this is. I don't know how it's going to completely affect county government, but we need to know exactly what's going on, and I believe this is an opportunity to get a think tank together in terms of IT so that we can get a handle on this, not only for this county, but our region.
Right.
Because this is coming our way. If you do not think that AI is going to affect you in the future, it already has in the present. So your head is in the sand, pull it out, because we are in a new era in our community, in our country. So I don't know if you guys need any
It
other.
has dominated the conversations at all of the conferences that we've been attending, and, you know, it's gonna have both positive and negative impacts. So this is very important that we have a team that's going to continuously evaluate that from a cybersecurity standpoint.
I will tell you that our IT director's name is not on here, but I was under the
wondered-
understanding that he was already a
Already.
member of this committee, but I could not find minutes where we appointed him. So we may have to bring that
I
back.
was wondering the same thing.
We may have to bring it back and appoint him, but I think it's best for all these folks to be a part of this conversation.
Mhm.
Mr. Harris is unable to be here today, but this is a great thing, in my opinion, for us to get ahead of this.
Right.
So I need a motion, Commissioners.
I make a motion to approve the appointments to the Homeland Security Advisory Committee, Burton ISD IT Director Jonathan Purvis, Brenham ISD Brittany Couch, City of Brenham IT Director Kevin Schmidt, and Blaine College Michael Welch.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item number 12, Commissioners, is the presentation of the monthly reports. We have the county clerk's report first. Ms. Rothermel?
Okay, if you wanna go to the charts. We've had a pretty average month, but it was a little bit better than the last, fall was,
Yeah.
at 79,000, right at 80,000 that we took in. The next, yeah, you can see the,
Spike
kind of
and the
a-
decline. Yeah.
a little bit down from last year, but definitely up from the last several years before that. The next one, that's official public records, that's your things like deeds, liens, affidavits, things like that, oil and gas documents that are filed. And we had only 492 for the month, so that was a
Yeah,
little,
that's
that was
kind of a-
definitely down.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely down for the,
PR
you know,
file.
the last. Okay, with regard to criminal cases, we had 73 cases filed for the month and 89 disposed. That was a little bit more on both sides. And the 73 is a little bit up from the last couple of years for the month of January. So we have started the year rocking and rolling with the court system. And then 89, go down one more, Carly. Yeah, there we go. 89 have been disposed, and that's definitely a trend, a big trend upward, you know, for the court. And that's county courts, and that's misdemeanor A and B and appeals on Class C.
Right.
Okay, civil cases, we had 11 filed and 4 disposed of. And you can see a little bit of an upswing with that for January, over the last few years. Guardianship cases, we have had just 2 filed for the month, but that is up a little bit from over the last 2 years. We just had 1 filed each month. Those are a little bit more work intensive,
Right.
a lot more filings to them and things to keep up with. Active guardianship cases, the little gray line on January, we have about 270 active guardianship cases at this time. Probate cases, we had 16 filed for the month of January. That's up over December, that ebbs and flows, but January 2024, we had more filed than the last few years again, probate cases. Okay, births, we had 39 births in the county. That's at our local hospital. And then for the month of January, over the last few years, it's a little bit down from last year, but more than, you know, the last
Any other?
few years. We had those years in there where we weren't birthing as many at this local hospital. But that has definitely picked back up. Birth certificates sold in January, we had 204 birth certificates sold. We had 30 deaths in Washington County, in the county. Now, that's not to mean, we do have residents that are transferred to other medical facilities and do pass away there as well. And consequently, people from other counties that come into our county and happen to pass away here at our hospital or other places. 30 for the month of January, so that's about as much as it was last year, down from 2022. We sold 36 death certificates for the month of January. And then we sold 23 marriage licenses. We had a big fall where we've had more weddings in the fall. That's fall time has become more of a time to get married here. So, and we do have some great venues here for weddings now, for sure.
We're a destination.
Yeah,
Yep.
we gotta address that.
Yeah, and marriage licenses sold in the month of January, you can see that's picking up. So people are not getting married so much in the summer anymore. I guess that's a little bit understandable. How hot it's been. We had 13 per medium online requests. Those are for vital statistics, birth, death, and marriage licenses from all over the place. Sometimes it's local people that request it online, but usually it's from far away. And then we only had 32 fraud alert registrations for the month. You can see the media did a great story on that in December. We had
A ton.
shoot up, and we're just people out of sight, out of mind with some of that. But I do continue to have calls periodically. I'm happy to help anybody with that if they have any questions about that.
Beth, the only thing I wanted to go back to real quick on the active guardianship cases,
Uh-huh.
I'm asking because I needed a refresher because it's been a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
My understanding is that the reason why, there's so many less than what we used to have is because wasn't there a huge effort, in 2022 because didn't we have a lot that needed, there was a lot of house cleaning that needed to be, because obviously we have a ton.
Periodically.
Because of the state supported living center.
Yeah, what happens is, we have wards and a guardianship is granted. And then subsequently, the ward will sometimes move out of the county or pass away, and nobody comes to tell us.
Right.
And we don't know. So, when we had that guardianship audit that came in, that someone came and looked at every single guardianship active case that we are saying that we have, and they did the background research to find out who.
That's right, that's what it was, because we put it in
Where
Judge
are
Burke's
these
budget, I
warrants? Are
think,
they
for that.
still around? Sometimes the guardian passes away.
Yeah.
And no one tells the court, and so the court doesn't know that a successor guardian has to be appointed, and to make those annual reports, check on the ward, make sure the ward is okay, that the ward there's not something going on there that needs attention.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much, Ms. Arthmel. And I really appreciate the graphs. They give us a trending history of what's going on in your office, and it's very easy to see. So I appreciate your efforts in doing that. All right, the district clerk's report. Commissioners, you have that in your packet? Are there any questions or comments on the district clerk's report? The Justice of the Peace reports. Commissioners, the only thing I would say is that Miss Carly and I had a email from Darius Smith, and he sent us some information that is required of him. It is in your packet under his report. He's required to do that by law, and he wanted to make sure that the court had that.
Okay.
I think it's his T-Cole information. So, we put it in, I'm sorry, that's JP. Are we on JP's?
We're on
I'm sorry.
JP's.
I'm sorry.
Not constable.
Too early. One step too early. Thank you, Miss Miller. She looked at me like I was crazy. Thank you. Because it was a lap of, all right. So is there any questions about the JP reports?
None here.
No.
Auditor's report. Ms. Hollis?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't have a whole lot because we're just 1 month in, but, so if you divided out the months, to expend, the remaining would be, 91.67, and the same with, collecting revenue. So the revenue in the general fund, we collected 94.10%. Oh, it's
No,
still
that's
remaining to collect, sorry. I realized that once I said that. And the remaining
contagious.
in EDS is 89.77.
I think we're all running.
So overall, we have 93.27 remaining to collect the next 11 months. The expenses, the general fund, 89.6% remaining to spend, and EDS 96.81. So overall, 91.08, which is pretty much right on target. Sales tax collected for January is $385,469, which is about $2,700 more than last year at this time.
Yeah, and I just want to make note of this for us going into budget, because, you know, we've seen, the effect of the current economy, you know, in different metrics, and, you know, with all of the additional retail that came in, I have been surprised the last several months, particularly even December, that they've kind of flatlined, even though we've
Yes.
in some words, recaptured some of the sales tax leakage, you know, cause now we have the Academy, we have the Ulta, we have the Burlington, we have the, Chick-fil-A, so everybody take note of that, cause that's gonna be a very important conversation for us this summer, once we get into budget.
So I will say as
And
senior
economic
commissioner that you never plan on sales tax. It's something that is definitely a variable because it goes up and down. So we never plan on sales tax as
No.
part of the revenue stream for county government.
That's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions of the
No.
county auditor?
No.
Thank you, Ms. Hollis.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
County treasurer, Ms. Kramer, your treasurer's report? Oh, tax assessor. I'm so sorry, Ms. Cheryl. I'm gonna tell you.
I don't have much to say.
I will tell you, it's a tough day.
He's
I've already
running
put
too high.
You know
You're
what's,
running too
you know what's
high.
problem is? I put a check by your name before I called you up here, so
I
I
was here.
apologize. Yes.
Yeah, I'm attending.
Check.
This
Okay,
is
we
what
got
happens
you.
when you burn at both
You
ends.
got me for attendance. For January, we had 694 titles done.
Okay.
We did 4,017 registrations. We did 126 permanent placards. And mail was only 94. We did mail-in registrations for 94. That is decreasing as we speak.
Right.
And I think it could be due to the
Online.
mail not being delivered timely.
Well, and do more people probably do online registration? Are people, are more and more
Yeah,
people doing
yeah.
online registration? Because I will tell y'all commissioners, I'm guilty of it. I do online registration. So nothing against you, Ms. Gaskamp, but it's just easy for
Easier.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Thank you so much, Ms.
Oh,
Gaskamp. Are there any
thank
other
you.
questions of Ms. Gaskamp? All right.
None.
So now, Ms. Kramer, we're ready for you.
Thank
Look,
you.
they gave you an opportunity to get your stuff together,
I
right?
know, thank you, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, January is looking good. We have some new investments. I guess you've seen that the report got a little longer. We have gone into a company called MBS Securities, in addition to Texas Class, Texas Pool, and Texas Star. So we are diversifying a lot of funds, keeping different things spread out. We have also, at the very last line on that part of the report shows that there's 42.5 million in investments with different places. That does not include the cash. That is strictly investments.
Right.
And so far, year to date, we've made 171,000 in interest. So we're busting out right there.
Also, the next 5 or 6 pages is the report that we get from our depository bank, Bank of Brenham. And I decided to start putting that in there too, because
I
it
think
shows
that's a
all
good
of the
idea.
bonds that they have pledged to us to cover our deposits. So, but as I like to say, everything balances.
All right, are there any other questions of Ms. Kramer? Thank you, Ms.
None
Kramer.
here.
Now we're gonna get to the constable's report. So, I will tell you, that, Mr. Smith sent his T-Cole license history in this document, and, I don't know that it's necessarily for everyone else, but it is for this Commissioners Court because he is required to do so. It's my understanding. So, Commissioners, are there any questions on the constable's report? All right. Elections, I don't know if y'all know this, but there's one going on. So Ms.
So she's
Carroll
not
was
here.
unable to be here today, and she was unable to provide us with a report. So this is going to be a major election for us. And it looks as though, from every indication that I've seen, that it's gonna be quite a few people voting. I don't know
Turnout.
if anyone else has been speaking to the elections office, but they've been busy, which I will tell you right now, as an American, that makes me feel good, because this is the one thing we have that separates us from being a country that's not free. You have the freedom of everything based upon those elections, so please continue to vote. Okay. Oh, wait, we have a.
Emil.
It is, in that freedom, it's also the freedom not to vote, because it looks like only about 40% of the registered voters are going to vote.
I understand, but that will probably be above the state and national average
Oh, yes.
in this county. So kudos to those folks in this county, because they're very tuned into their politics, and they're also very tuned into this Commissioner's Court. If you don't believe me, you just take my phone number for a few days.
We'll just hand over our phone.
Yes, they will, you'll get those calls, and I appreciate those calls, so keep sending them. I'm always told I shouldn't do this, but my phone number is 277-2044, just so you know. Mr. Purcern, the Veterans Report.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good to be here today.
Good morning.
So this is for the month of January, first month of the year. We had 222 contacts with veterans or their dependents. We completed 48 forms on their behalf. We folded 6 flags and presented for veterans Louis Conjura, John Davenport, John Bolseric, Donald Peliquin, Otto Wearing, and Royce Marburger. If you move on to veterans trends, you'll see how that first month, this first month of the year, unfolds with the previous years. So it's about normal as far as contacts, and a little bit below as far as forms completed on behalf of veterans. It was really kind of unexpected, but that looks to be increasing quite a bit this month. So you'll also notice that for 2023, we don't have the number of veterans, the population. The reason is because we haven't received, and this is normal, we haven't received the VA, the big VA numbers for this past year. That's going to be coming out in a few months, probably March, April, May timeframe. It's hard to say. And the same goes for the amount of expenditures the VA does for our county on veterans or their dependents. So those numbers will be coming up in the next few months, and that'll fill in the remainder of 2023.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing that, but
Yep.
you've done an amazing job continuing to represent our veterans and this county, this organization, so thank you. Keep it up.
Thanks, Commissioner.
I will say, we read the names rather quickly. Carly, could you put those names up again?
Yeah.
Those are heroes of our community.
Yes,
And
sir.
when we lose people like that, it's easy to say we folded a flag for them.
Mhm.
But when you see a veteran today, let them know that you appreciate their service, because they are what's keeping us free. So thank you so much for what you do, Mr. Pacern. Thank you for each one of those gentlemen. I know some of those folks and met personally. And they've gone through some things that most of us would probably be very difficult for us to go on. And they've done it and didn't ask for anything because of it. So we thank them for their service.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for those words.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, the next item on the agenda is discuss and possibly act upon the approval of line item transfers. Ms. Kramer?
Okay. The majority of these are filling in for like different insurances that I did not know what they were gonna be when we did budget last July. And then, of course, they were a bit higher than what I had anticipated. So I didn't think that that's fair to penalize the departments when I didn't put enough money in their budget for them. So that's where the majority of that comes from. There's a couple of others that were actually departments already asked me to transfer some funds from one line to another. I mean, it's always in their budgets, but that's where all of these are coming from.
Commissioners, if you'll see that where it says radio contingency, if you remember in budget, we put that funding in there for the radios at the sheriff's office. And we had to move that money over to small caps in the IT department because that's where that funding is gonna go out of. Just so you know, and I believe that came in a little bit higher than the 51,000. I believe it came in at 54, somewhere in there, rounding numbers up, but that's probably the amount, but we will have enough in that small cap. I think there was some concern from the IT director that would just kind of eliminate the small caps pretty close, or take half of it rather, and he was a little concerned about that, but I think all that's worked out. So he was unaware of that contingency that this court decided to put into that for those radios. So that's the only thing I wanted to explain about that. The rest of these are boilerplate for as Ms. Kramer explained.
Right.
Are there any other questions about that? I need a motion.
I'll move upon the approval of the line items transfers.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Ms. Kramer, the next item is discuss and possibly act upon the approval of accounts payable.
Okay, this week, considerably less than the last couple of weeks, which is good. Only $276,899.83. That includes what Kirk was just referring to on the radios, which was 53,000, almost 54, just a few dollars short of that. There's something called a fluid warmer that the EMS got that was out of their donations. If you have not noticed, please take a moment to look at the lights in the annex. It is a beautiful thing to see that you can actually see in there now, and that was a little over 6,000 for those lights, but it's worth every penny just to be able to see in there now, and the voters can see the ballots.
It's good.
Yeah, it's like a football field in there, so it's awesome.
Good job.
Yep, it's pretty standard. I make a motion to approve accounts payable.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item number 15.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank y'all so much.